Hey, what is going on YouTube? Aaron here. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, and in today's video we're going to be going over the Azure Lane Wave 5 complete commander review guide, as well as a few of the ships and the bundles in the store. But without further ado, let's go ahead and take a peek at that. For 47,000 doubloons, you could get 3 ships, 2 permanent camos, and the 5 new commanders. Now, the way we're going to be doing this video is I'm going to briefly go over each commander, the new or the base trait perk, as well as the new perk in the third, usually in the third or fourth slot, but the new perk there. And then we'll be going into a deep dive of that commander to give you guys my opinion, the kind of the community's opinion as well, and whether or not I think that commander is necessarily worth it. Oops. Fix the camera there. Now, before we get into that, 2 things. Number 1, you don't have your bills paid. My standard, don't wail and spend $150 US buying commanders with 2 of the very nice, perks there, which are sitting on the screen. But in no sense is any of this completely worth it. Now, like I said, if you got your bills paid, you got your 401k taken care of, by all means, go ahead and make your girlfriend or wife unhappy that you're staring at these on screen. The second thing is, as you guys can see, I have all of these, and these were given to me by Wargaming, just so it is complete transparency. But as you just heard, I just recommended not getting them, so I wish I got kickbacks or anything like that, but make sure you guys use code Aaron for 0% off of your purchase there. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it with the first one, and honestly probably the best one, but we'll get into that later, being A.L. Bismarck here. The secondary battery reload time, her main base trait there is unwavering strength with a secondary battery reload time boost, as well as a secondary battery dispersion. Let's go ahead and turn this off so you guys can see the full thing there. With her unique trait being in the 3rd slot there, which is Wahrheit. I'm sure my Germans are going to correct me on that one, but incoming damage from projectiles while shooting secondary battery is aiming or shooting. So honestly, probably one of the better ones here, but let's go ahead and take a peek at the second one. Wow, she is Miss Sara. You are well built there, aren't you? Audacious Challenger is her main base trait perk there. Cruiser's main gun SAP shell damage. This is obviously for the Italians, with her unique perk being in Arduous Intrepida. Damage from the cruiser main battery guns while firing them within 5 seconds after reload. Now, I'm going to be honest, thanks to Mobius and a few others on stream for explaining this to me. Once you get your reload, you have 5 seconds from the time it, you hear the sound that, or the shell inserting into the barrel there, that sound. From that point, you can, if you shoot within that 5 seconds, I believe shells carry an additional 8% damage. That being said, that is just what I've been told, but that is also... They didn't write that one or describe that one the best, but that is Miss A.L. Zara here. The third, Sovietsky Arasia, with her main base trait being Frozen Edge, risk of catching fire, as well as battleship detectability there. You can see the percentages as they go up. So a Russian defensive commander there. Oh, I'm sorry. Her unique perk is in the 4th slot there. It is Battle Cry, minimum ricochet angle of your battleship's AP shells, and guaranteed ricochet angle of your battleship's AP shells, as well as deal more damage with Citadel strikes. So a pretty good one there in the 3rd slot. And the 4th commander is probably going to be the most popular for 2 reasons, as you guys can see on screen there. But no, her main base trait there, Miss A.L. Colorado, is Focused Assault, battleship main battery reload time, as well as an increase in your shell grouping. So a pretty good one there. Probably not quite as good as A.L. New Jersey, but we'll get into that a little bit later here, with her unique trait in the 4th slot here being Courageous Shelling, which is main battery reload after your first shot of the battle and every following 3rd shot. So your first reload, or I'm not exactly sure how this one works, but the first reload, and then every subsequent 3rd shot, you get a better reload up to 25% there, with it maxed out at 16 Legend 4, or is it 16 Legend 4? Or is it 16? I think you have to get it to 16. Yeah, 16 Legend 4 there to get that fully maxed out, but that is her unique trait there. So a pretty strong one. Again, not quite as strong as A.L. New Jersey, but we'll actually compare the 2 towards the end of this video. And the final one here, which is definitely going to be nice for your British heavies. Honestly, all of the British cruisers here is Miss A.L. Cheshire with Grin and Fire, cruiser main battery reload time, and incoming damage to your Citadel protection. So not as much damage to your Citadel if you do decide to get hit. So all of the Mino enjoyers who like to sail out broadside, this will definitely help you out a little bit. With her unique trait in the second slot there being bounce right back, minimum ricochet angle for shells that hit your cruiser, so you can save yourself a little bit of angle there if you understand that one, and then guaranteed ricochet angle for shells that hit your cruiser. So you're just preventing certain ships like the Americans with better AP pen angles to kind of stop you from getting Citadel there, as well as your base trait to prevent massive Citadel hits. So alright, so there are the commanders, and like we mentioned, there are 3 ships as well as 2 permanent camos here. These ships are basically just slight variations of their normal tech tree equivalent: AL Zara, the AL Sovietsky, Rassia, and then the AL Cheshire. Now, I have heard that the Cheshire is pretty spicy compared to her tech tree or premium counterpart there. But I don't know the exact details and differences of the ships, but I'll try and get those and link them or put them in the first pinned comment. But let's go ahead and compare and contrast and give you guys my thoughts and opinions. The 2 that I would get would be Bismarck and Colorado. The 2 that I would probably avoid would be Rassia and Cheshire, with the Zara being, if you're an Italian cruiser enjoyer, then I would definitely contemplate getting that one. Well, if I had to pick only one, it would be the ships that you enjoy playing more. And even the Rassia here is a decent Russian battleship commander. More on the defensive side, we know that the Russian battleships usually have the limited damage cons. So any decreased chance you can get a fire or flood, you kind of want to take. Compare that with her 4th slot there, and that's probably a pretty good one. We know that Russian AP is very accurate and hits very hard, so I can see this being a pretty good commander. And also, somebody, I think it was Flash, mentioned that are there Russian battleships coming with the Dance with Death? And I don't think so. It has torpedo launcher and main battery, secondary battery reload time per HP lost, and also this is a great perk as well, because the more HP you lose, the faster your reload gets. So if you can kind of cheekily lose a little bit of HP the right way, then yeah, you can get yourself working here. But I think this is just the same perk that is on John Fisher, and they just didn't change the description. So I don't think there are any torpedo Russian battleships coming anytime soon. But we went over Bismarck in detail, and honestly, I don't want to say this because I know that people are just going to be like, see, I told you so. Hold on. I think I have this one. It might work for that. Yeah. See, I told you so. But this commander is bordering, AL Bismarck is bordering on pay to win. And I said this tonight on stream, and I'll have this little speech once again. And I actually had a video in queue that I need to link it. I need to have released the video before I did this. But basically, your commanders are only adding 2 or 3% to the ship. We had a video or a set of videos where I played an American battleship with a AL New Jersey 16 level 3, and I went out and smashed things. And then I switched to a level 7 commander with 1 inspiration, and I still smashed things. The difference was about 10,000 damage. So does it make a difference? Yes, but not to the level at which people like. If you're sailing broadside, right? It has nothing to do with your commander, right? You're just an idiot. So I think people put too much into commanders instead of their gameplay overall and paying attention and making the right move and the right play instead of, it's like, oh, well, he had a better commander than me. It's the same excuse of like he had a better gaming chair. But we were talking about this tonight on stream. They just nerfed Schlieffen and Prince Ruprecht and a lot of the other secondaries, and then they give us a commander to buff that reload time as well as the dispersion. So you can keep Porcupine as well as add Haruna and Hipper here and keep the same range, but you get a buff to your reload as well as your dispersion. So this is definitely going to be the premier German battleship, secondary brawling battleship commander. And of course it costs 5,000 doubloons. Wargaming is no different than any other company. They're going to make their money, but that is kind of my thoughts on that. And definitely probably my go-to pick if I had to choose one. I already have AL New Jersey, so AL Colorado. Like I said, the Colorado and Bismarck would have been my top 2 picks. But if I only had to get one, it would probably be Bismarck there. Colorado is nice, but you miss that Firefighter perk, which I think is in the 3rd slot for New Jersey. But you do get Courageous Shelling, which I might have to play with a few builds here and mix them on different battleships. I'm mainly thinking Ohio, but yeah, we'll definitely see. I think she's definitely a strong one. And somebody actually asked me a great question tonight on stream. If you missed out on AL New Jersey, Colorado is a great second pickup there. I'm sure all of these commanders will return with the exception of AL Otago at one point or another. We just don't know when. Now, the one I would avoid is, like we mentioned, Savetsky Rossiya, even though she's really strong in and of herself. Zara is also another one I would avoid if you don't play Italian cruisers. Her base trait is purely Italian cruisers. There's nothing, like, if you put this on you would just be wasting your time. So, yeah, cruiser, main gun, SAP shell damage, and even then her second perk isn't that great, but she does work really well for the Italian cruisers. So if you're an Italian Chad cruiser enjoyer, then this one is definitely for you. That one, and then Cheshire. Cheshire is actually going to be really great for the British heavies, even the lights. The British cruisers, basically, like we said in our little walkthrough, but I just think that she's not worth it enough to justify, if I only had 5,000 or 10,000 doubloons, to pick it over the other few, the other two there, which we mentioned. Now, that being said, if you are a Mino Fiend or an Agile Cheshire enjoyer or something like that, this is a great commander as well. You get Steer Clear in the 4th slot there, as well as Fortified. Now, I definitely would choose Punch Through. I would choose these lot here. And then depending on reload or fully packed, whatever you're running. But excuse me. Oh man, that was a good burp there. But a great commander as well, because you do get a little boost to reload. All of these commanders are pretty good. Oh man, dinner's coming up tonight. All of these commanders are pretty good, but I think, like I said, I think Bismarck and Colorado are definitely my top two to get. So like I said, if you don't want to waste $150, 47,000 doubloons, I would probably definitely pick up Bismarck, even for the meme potential and fun there. But yeah, that would definitely be my top pick. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I hope it was informative for you guys. Again, if you don't got your bills paid, please don't be dropping. Let's go to doubloons and see exactly how much it is. Also, there are the crates in the store, and you could risk your chances getting the ships, the commanders, or the skins. But if you know what you want, then just go buy it with the balloons. How much was the... Oh, also there's the Milwaukee in the store. I need to do like a little separate video or short on this, but for 99 cents, this is available in the store. So we definitely pick that up for $1 there. So yeah, 47,000 is 150 US. So like I said, I don't judge people on how they spend their money. But if you don't got your bills paid, definitely do not be wailing on the giant booby anime commanders here. The commanders do help a few percentage points, but they don't make or break the game for you. We still use a lot of base commanders on a lot of my ships. But that being said, there are some decent ones in this drop. I hope you guys found that informative. Let me know if you like this style of video where we kind of break them down initially first and then go over them in detail later. Or if you just kind of like me talking about them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. There's probably not going to be too many more Azure Lane drops. I mean, I'm sure there will. Wargaming always wants to make a buck, but they are a company. They don't work for free. They are not volunteers. So yeah, we won't get into that discussion in this video. But this one's probably long enough. I love you guys. Aaron out. Peace.